Pay attention to this right now because this can completely change the way you view your life. You are not stuck. You are not late. You do not lack capability. You are just living under the command of a mind that you have never consciously trained. And here is the truth that almost no one realizes. Either you make your mind obey you, or it will keep making you repeat the same life every single day. There is no middle ground. Now answer me with sincerity. How many times have you already decided that you were going to change your life? How many times did you say that this time would be different? And a few days later, everything went back to the same pattern. The same habits. The same distractions. The same choices. This does not happen due to a lack of strength. This happens due to programming. Your mind was trained over the years to repeat the past, not to build the future. And if it was trained for that, it will keep executing that automatically. Now understand this. You do not live what you want. You live what your mind repeats without stopping. And this was exactly what Napoleon Hill revealed when he studied the greatest names in history. Everything begins in the dominant thought. Everything begins in mental repetition. Everything begins in the way you view yourself. Now let this sink in. If your mind was programmed without you noticing, it can also be reprogrammed on purpose. But that only happens when you take control. Until today you probably only reacted. You reacted to tiredness. You reacted to doubt. You reacted to circumstances. Reacting does not create anything. Reacting merely repeats. Now the question is simple. Are you driving your mind or just being driven by it? Because every thought you accept without questioning is programming you. Every doubt you feed is shaping your future. Every negative phrase you repeat is building your reality. And your mind does not argue with that. It simply accepts. It simply repeats. Now imagine starting to repeat something new every day. I am disciplined. I am evolving. I am in control. At first it feels strange. But the mind does not respond to logic. It responds to repetition. And when you repeat something enough, it begins to become automatic. First the thought changes. Then the behavior changes. Then the decisions change. Then the results change. And when you realize it, you are no longer the same person. But here is the point that separates those who truly change from those who stay the same. Consistency. It is not intensity. It is not motivation. It is daily repetition even when you don't feel like it. Because your mind does not obey emotion. It obeys patterns. Now understand this. Every time you try to change, your mind will resist. It will tell you to leave it for later. It will remind you of the past. It will try to pull you back. But that is not you. That is the old system trying to survive. And it is exactly here that most people give up. Right at the moment when they were starting to change. Because discomfort is not a sign of error. Discomfort is a sign of reprogramming. You are not getting worse. You are breaking the old pattern. Now imagine if every time you felt resistance, you understood that it is proof of evolution. That changes everything. You stop running from the process and start walking through it. And whoever walks through this process never goes back to the same place. Now there is something even deeper. You do not need a new life. You need a new identity. Because you will always live according to who you believe you are. If you believe you fail, you will fail. If you believe you can't do it, you won't even truly try. If you believe you are limited, you will live limited. But if you start to view yourself as someone who is disciplined, constant, and strong, even before seeing results, your mind begins to adjust everything to sustain that new identity. And this creates a cycle. Identity, behavior, result, reinforcement of identity. And this cycle can trap you or it can free you. Now think with sincerity. Who have you been over the last few days? Someone who controls their own mind or someone who is controlled by it? Because that is defining your future right now. But here is the most important part. You don't need to wait until you are ready. You only need to decide what you are going to repeat from today onward. Because your mind changes through repetition, not through intention. And everything you repeat is taking you somewhere. Either to the same cycle or to a new life. Now, if this is making sense to you, understand this clearly. You can keep being the same old version of yourself, or you can start training your mind right now. And every day that you do this, you weaken the old pattern. To the point where it no longer controls you. And your mind begins to obey you. And when that happens, you no longer chase the life you want. You begin to build it. Now the decision is in your hands. To keep going on automatic or to take control. Because when you truly learn this, nothing else can stop you.